Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. This time, we're gonna go beyond the headlines, beyond all the usual distractions to explore something truly special. Um, y'all sent in a whole bunch of quotes and excerpts, all these little pieces of wisdom
I love it.
spanning like centuries, different traditions.
Different traditions, yeah.
Celtic sayings from like the first millennium.
Oh, wow.
Wisdom from Lao Tzu, words from St. Francis,
Okay.
even some stuff from modern thinkers.
Oh, cool.
And the thing is, they all kind of revolve around these big ideas, right? Peace,
Yeah.
self-knowledge, and something kind of divine, something bigger than ourselves.
Like this global conversation is across time, across cultures, humans grappling with like what it means to live well, to find that inner stillness.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's unpack some of this. One line that really stood out to me, it resonated so strongly, was, "You are the peace of all things calm."
Oh, yeah.
It's like, just hearing it, it's an instant meditation almost.
It is. It's deceptively simple.
Yeah.
But it hints at something that a lot of these sources emphasize, which is that peace isn't something you get.
Right.
It's something you are. St. Francis, for example.
Okay.
He lists peace alongside joy and goodness as these divine qualities. They're not like external rewards, but part of our inherent nature.
So it's not about achieving peace, it's about recognizing it's already there.
Exactly.
Okay.
And there's these other lines too. You are the place to hide from harm, and you are the guest who waits inside.
Yeah.
And they make me think about our true self as like this inner sanctuary that's always there, always offering refuge, but we forget about it.
We do. We get distracted by all the busyness and the to-do lists and the
day-to-day.
The day-to-day, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we need to become aware of that guest within, invite them to have a cup of tea.
Yeah, sit down, have a conversation.
Exactly. But there's also this sense of responsibility too, right?
Oh, for sure.
Like Lao Tzu says, mastering yourself is true power. That doesn't sound very relaxing, does it?
It's interesting, though, because I think true mastery isn't about like forceful control.
Right.
But understanding if I really know myself.
Right.
My strengths, my weaknesses.
My patterns, my triggers.
Exactly. What triggers me, that's where the power comes from. It's the opposite of that inner turmoil.
Yeah.
It's the calm because you've done the work.
So self-mastery is the foundation for inner peace.
I think so. At least it seems to be a recurring theme here.
Yeah.
And this connects really beautifully with another excerpt that you sent in. You are the light that shines in dark. It's like we're not just seeking peace for peace's sake, but because it illuminates our path.
Yeah, illuminates the path. It gives us that clarity to see through the challenges.
There's this idea of seeking truth.
Yeah.
Wisdom, even when things are chaotic.
Yeah. And speaking of truth and wisdom, there's that other gem from Lao Tzu, knowing yourself is true wisdom.
Right.
It's like these ancient thinkers keep pointing us inward.
Yes.
Like the answers aren't out there. They're in here.
They're within.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not just about like personal introspection either.
Ew.
There's this line from Lessons in Truth about the universe providing abundant good. Right. But we have to recognize it first. So self-knowledge becomes the key.
The key.
Yeah, to unlocking this universal knowledge.
So it's like our inner world is this microcosm of the larger universe.
That's a great way to put it.
So by understanding ourselves, we start to understand these greater truths.
And it's fascinating because this resonates with what we find in the Upanishads and even Gospel of Mary Magdalene.
Okay, wow.
The emphasis on this inner journey of uncovering truth that's always been present within us.
Okay, so we've got inner peace tied to self-mastery.
Right.
And wisdom rooted in this deep self-knowledge. Where does this deep dive take us from here?
Well, I think we can kind of shift gears a little bit to this theme of abundance and manifestation.
Okay.
You sent in some really powerful lines. You are all our riches and you suffice for us. You are my savior this very day.
Ooh.
There's this clear sense of a benevolent force out there, providing for our needs, a source of abundance we can tap into.
And this reminds me of Catherine Ponder and Ernest Holmes, who talk about divine restoration and manifesting desires through active faith and visualization. I mean, it sounds kind of like magic almost.
Well, it does sound like magic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But what's fascinating is the emphasis on active faith. It's not just wishing.
Right.
It's about aligning your actions with your beliefs. Techniques like affirming possessions. Seeing yourself in situations you desire, focusing on what you do have rather than what you lack.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
It's like our thoughts and beliefs become this blueprint.
Right.
And by cultivating that abundance mindset, we kind of invite it in.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that's where the active part comes in.
Okay.
Catherine Ponder talks about not just passively believing, but like using the power of imagination to actively create what we desire.
So it's more about aligning ourselves with this universal abundance rather than forcing it to happen.
It's about co-creation.
Okay.
Working with this universal energy, not against it.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like there's this wellspring of abundance that's already present, but it's hidden often beneath our fears.
Fears and doubts.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, this is where things get really interesting for me, I think.
Okay.
Because one of the lines you sent in seems to kind of bridge this idea of abundance to what comes next.
Right.
You are the light, the truth, the way.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's pointing towards something deeper.
Yeah.
A deeper understanding.
Absolutely. And that path might just lead us into the realm of creativity and expression.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how this same concept of like channeling energy, tapping into a higher source, appears in the story about Phil Lesh, the bass player from the Grateful Dead.
Wait, the Grateful Dead. Okay, I wouldn't have thought of them as like spiritual gurus or anything.
Right.
So what's the connection?
Well, it's not about, being a guru. It's about the experience.
Okay.
Phil Lesh described these moments of musical improvisation as tapping into this like group mind almost. It's like channeling something beyond their individual selves. He talked about opening that pipeline to another reality.
So it's like music becomes a conduit, a way to access something bigger.
Exactly. And this flow state.
Yeah.
That feeling of effortless creativity, that's not just in music, right?
Right.
Think about writers,
artists,
even like someone solving a complex problem.
Right.
They get lost in the process. Ego steps aside, and something truly unique emerges.
Okay, I'm starting to see how all of this connects.
Yeah.
So we begin by cultivating inner peace,
Right.
which then allows us to access our own wisdom, connect with this universal abundance.
Yeah.
And then through creative expression, we channel that energy outward.
Beautifully put. It's like we're moving from reception to transmission.
Oh, okay.
From inner harmony to outward creation.
I like that.
And this leads us perfectly to this final set of excerpts that you sent.
Okay.
The ones focusing on connection and acceptance. Right. Lines like, you are the stranger at the door, and you are the calling of the poor.
Yeah.
Challenging us to broaden that circle of compassion.
It's like there's that beautiful passage about seeing God in everyone, regardless of religion, background.
Yes.
It's such a powerful reminder that beneath all those differences, we're all part of the same fabric.
Absolutely. And it's not just a passive acknowledgement, right?
Right.
You included all these affirmations and prayers from various traditions, emphasizing forgiveness, gratitude, seeing the good in all things. Those are active practices that help us cultivate that sense of unity, not just in theory, but in how we live our lives.
So it's not enough to simply believe in unity. We have to actively practice it.
Exactly. It's like any skill.
Yeah.
Compassion needs to be exercised.
Right.
And the excerpts you shared, they offer some really practical guidance.
Yeah.
There's one passage that really stood out to me. It talks about the journey of, releasing those judgments and learning to see God's beauty in everyone.
In everyone.
In everything.
That's beautiful.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. It makes me think of that saying, change your thoughts, change your world.
Right.
If we can train ourselves to see that divine spark in every being, it could radically transform not just our relationships, but our whole experience, right?
It's like upgrading our perception. Instead of filtering the world through all these limitations, we're actively choosing to see that beauty, that connection.
And this reminds me of something from the Adi Granth, a Sikh scripture.
Okay.
It talks about seeing God's image in everyone, regardless of their beliefs.
It's that radical acceptance, recognizing the oneness of all creation.
It's a powerful antidote to, I think, a lot of the division and conflict we see today.
Absolutely.
It's about shifting from that us versus them mentality to recognizing our shared humanity.
Exactly. And this extends beyond just human relationships too, right?
Oh, right.
There's this beautiful prayer you sent in that expresses gratitude for the earth, the sky, the ocean, all of creation.
Yeah.
It's this call to open our hearts to the beauty around us, to recognize our interconnectedness.
Yeah, with the natural world. It's like being a kid again, seeing the world for the first time.
Yeah, that sense of awe and wonder.
Exactly. Appreciating the simple things, recognizing the miracle of life itself.
You put it perfectly. Moving beyond that narrow egocentric view and embracing something much more expansive.
Yeah.
Recognizing that we're part of something so much greater, that we're not separate but interconnected with all of creation.
This has been such an incredible journey.
Hasn't it?
Yeah. Inner peace, truth-seeking, abundance, creativity, and harmony.
Yeah, there's one more concept I'd like to touch on.
Okay.
It has to do with the power of the mind. You included this fascinating excerpt from Joseph Murphy's book, The Cosmic Power Within You. He talks about God revealing hidden talents and whispering inspiration into our hearts.
That sounds really intriguing.
Doesn't it?
It's like we all have this untapped potential just waiting to be discovered.
Right.
And by connecting to a higher power, we can access that potential
and live more fulfilling lives.
Yeah.
He even compares us to like light bulbs, these focal points for a greater power to manifest through us.
So it's like recognizing our inherent worth, our power.
Yes.
Trusting that we're each here for a reason.
Yeah, and we have something valuable to contribute.
And that contribution can take so many forms, right?
So many forms.
It doesn't have to be some big, world-changing thing.
It really does.
It could be as simple as, like, a kind word.
Exactly.
A helping hand.
Yeah. There's this other passage that encourages us to, like, cleanse ourselves of that negativity. Replace those self-doubts with generosity, appreciation, self-acceptance.
Oh, I like that.
It's this powerful call to step into our full potential.
Yeah.
And embrace our authentic selves.
So it's about recognizing our own worthiness and then, letting go of the things that hold us back from expressing it.
And this connects back to that idea of manifestation we were talking about earlier, with affirming possessions and visualizing those desired outcomes. There's another passage that explains how, literally, our thoughts and beliefs shape our reality. It encourages us to hold this clear mental picture of what we desire, trusting that the universe will conspire
to make it happen.
Yeah, bring it into being.
It's like we're co-creating our reality using our imagination.
And you included this amazing quote. It sums it up beautifully. Speak your word and believe that after it is spoken, it gathers unto itself whatever is necessary to its fulfillment. The law does the rest.
Whoa. Powerful. Right.
It is. It means we're not just passive recipients of fate.
Right.
But active participants.
Yeah.
In our lives.
In the unfolding of our lives. Absolutely.
And speaking of taking action.
Yeah.
There's a prayer you included that encourages us to connect with this great and infinite mind. Seek inspiration for great deeds.
So it's about recognizing our own agency.
Yeah.
Our ability to create a life of purpose. Meaning...
And that doesn't have to be, driven by ego or ambition.
No, not at all.
It's about aligning with a higher purpose.
Right.
Recognizing we're all here to contribute.
Exactly. And that contribution can take so many forms, right? And it doesn't have to be some grand, world-changing act.
Right.
It could be something as simple as a kind word or a helping hand.
Yeah. There's this beautiful passage where it talks about experiencing the inner vision and hearing the wondrous secret through the spirit within. It describes this spring of knowledge, fountain of power, this flood of love and all-embracing wisdom.
That's powerful imagery.
Isn't it? It's like we each have this wellspring of wisdom and creativity just waiting to be tapped.
And when we connect to that source, we experience that deep sense of purpose and fulfillment.
Precisely. And then there's this passage where God is described as speaking through all aspects of creation, the grass, the trees, the mountains, the rain, the sun, the stars.
Wow. It's like a reminder that the divine is present everywhere, in everything.
In everything.
If we just open our eyes.
You just open our eyes to see it.
Yeah.
And it ends with this powerful message, be still, know I am God.
It's that invitation to quiet the mind.
Yeah.
Go with
connect with that divine presence.
Yeah. That resides within each of us.
Yeah.
It's about finding that stillness amidst the chaos.
Yeah.
That place of peace and connection.
And that's where we can tap into our true potential.
It reminds me of a teaching from the Buddha, be lamps unto yourselves.
Oh, I love that.
Find refuge in the truth, he says, and seek no external validation.
It's about taking ownership of our own spiritual growth.
Yeah.
Relying on our own inner compass to guide us.
Okay, and that leads us to another point, the importance of self-reliance, inner strength.
Yeah.
You included a passage that encourages us to cleanse ourselves of negativity, embrace these positive qualities like generosity, appreciation, and self-acceptance.
Cultivating that inner strength.
Yeah.
That resilience.
So we can navigate the challenges of life with grace and wisdom.
So it's about empowering ourselves to create the lives that we desire.
Rather than waiting for somebody else to save us or give us permission.
To be happy.
To be happy.
Yeah.
And speaking of creating the lives we desire, remember that concept of perfect action.
Yes.
You know, doing the right thing at the right time.
There's this passage that delves deeper into this idea, explaining that. The only thing we need to treat or change is ourselves.
It's like that Gandhi quote, be the change you want to see in the world.
Yeah.
If we want more love, abundance, and joy, we need to embody those qualities.
And this brings us to another powerful concept, the idea that perfection is already present within us.
Okay.
You included this passage. It says, I see the perfect. There is nothing else to see, and no suggestion of otherness can enter my thought. I know only the perfect and the complete. I am perfect and whole now.
Wow.
It's this radical affirmation of our inherent worth and wholeness.
Yeah.
We're not broken or flawed.
But expressions of divine perfection.
And when we embrace this truth, we open ourselves to experiencing the fullness of life, recognizing the beauty and perfection that already exists in every moment. Okay, so we've explored this really rich tapestry of wisdom, inner peace, truth-seeking, abundance, creativity, harmony, self-empowerment. Yeah. Recognizing our inherent perfection.
It's been quite a journey.
It has been an incredible journey. Where do we go from here?
Well, there's one more passage I'd like to share.
Okay.
It speaks to the transformative power of love.
Oh, okay.
It's this beautiful expression of gratitude for the gift of being, acknowledging the presence of that divine force that guides and supports us.
It's like a reminder that we're not alone in this, you know, that there's this loving presence always with us.
Yeah, guiding us towards our highest good.
And the passage goes on to describe this experience of divine restoration.
Yes.
This sense that all those blessings we've ever desired are still available.
They're still available to us.
It encourages us to claim our present blessings, trust that we are receiving all the good
that God has for us.
It's this powerful affirmation of abundance and the belief that the universe is really conspiring to support our dreams.
And speaking of dreams, there's a passage that emphasizes the importance of aligning our desires with the divine plan.
Okay.
It encourages us to surrender our personal will to the will of God, trusting that we're being guided towards our highest good.
It's about letting go of our ego's limited perspective and opening to a greater wisdom.
That knows what's truly best for us.
And that can be scary.
It can be very scary.
To relinquish control like that.
It can also be incredibly liberating.
Right.
You know, knowing that we're being guided, supported by a force greater than ourselves.
It's like we're being carried by the current of life, you know?
Yeah.
Trusting that we'll be delivered to our destination.
And speaking of destinations, there's a passage that describes the ultimate goal of our spiritual journey, you know?
Okay.
The realization of our oneness with God. It talks about transcending this illusion of separation. Recognizing that we are all part of this divine essence.
It's about remembering who we truly are. Expressions of love, light and infinite potential.
And when we awaken to this truth, we experience this profound sense of liberation and joy.
Yeah.
Knowing that we are already whole and complete.
It's like coming home to ourselves, remembering our true nature as divine beings.
Exactly. And this realization brings with it such a sense of purpose and meaning, knowing that we're here to express our unique gifts and to contribute to the evolution of consciousness.
So it's about living a life of love, service, creative expression, recognizing that we're each here to make a difference.
And speaking of making a difference, there's this passage that encourages us to use our talents and our abilities to serve others, suggesting that by sharing our gifts with the world, we fulfill our highest purpose, contribute to the collective good.
It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected.
Yeah.
Our actions have this ripple effect.
They do.
That impacts the whole.
And this brings us to another important point, the importance of living in alignment with our values. There's this passage that encourages us to identify our core values, make choices that reflect those values.
Yeah.
Suggesting that, when we live in integrity with ourselves, we experience peace and fulfillment.
It's about living a life that's true to ourselves.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to conform to external expectations.
Right, or societal pressures.
Yeah.
And speaking of authenticity, there's this passage that celebrates the uniqueness of each individual, reminding us that we are all created in the image of God.
Right.
And our diversity is a reflection of divine creativity.
That is beautiful.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's this reminder that we're each here to shine our own unique light.
Yeah.
And contribute our own unique gifts.
To the world.
And when we embrace our authentic selves, we allow our true brilliance to shine through, illuminating the world with our love, creativity, and compassion.
It's like recognizing that we're all masterpieces in progress.
Yeah.
Perfectly imperfect expressions of the divine.
And that leads to, I think, a really crucial point, self-love and acceptance.
No, for sure.
You included a passage that encourages us to embrace ourselves fully.
The flaws and all.
Flaws and all, yeah.
When we love and accept ourselves unconditionally, we open ourselves to receiving that love and acceptance from others.
It's about recognizing our own inherent worth and treating ourselves with that same kindness and compassion that we would offer to a beloved friend.
Absolutely.
And speaking of kindness,
yes,
there's this passage that emphasizes the importance of treating others with love and respect.
It reminds us that everyone is fighting their own battles.
And a little bit of kindness can go a long way.
It's about, recognizing the humanity.
Yeah.
In everyone we meet.
In everyone we meet.
No matter their background.
Beliefs, circumstances.
Yeah, and that leads to another important point, the importance of forgiveness. There's a passage that encourages us to let go of any grudges.
Yeah.
Or resentments that we might be holding on to.
Right.
Forgiveness isn't about condoning hurtful actions.
Right.
But it's about freeing ourselves from that burden.
The burden
of anger and bitterness.
Yeah, it only hurts us in the long run.
It really does.
To hold on to it.
And speaking of letting go, there's a passage that encourages us to release our attachment to material possessions.
Okay.
It suggests that true wealth lies not in what we own,
right,
but in the richness of our relationships.
Yeah.
The depth of our experiences and the love that we share with others.
It's about recognizing that happiness comes from within.
Yeah, not from external things.
Yeah.
Not from external things, yeah.
Right. And speaking of inner happiness, there's this passage that describes the experience of finding joy in the present moment. Encourages us to appreciate the simple things, the beauty of nature, the love of our family and friends.
Yeah.
The gift of each new day.
Yeah, it's about cultivating that sense of gratitude for all that we do have.
Yeah, recognizing that true abundance lies in the richness of our present experience.
Right. So much of the time we're focused on what we lack.
Yeah.
What we don't have, rather than appreciating what's right in front of us.
And speaking of abundance, there's this passage that encourages us to trust in the infinite supply of the universe. It suggests there's more than enough for everyone.
Yeah.
And when we release our fear of scarcity, we open ourselves up to receiving unlimited blessings.
So it's about shifting from that mindset of lack to a mindset of abundance.
Exactly.
And recognizing that we are all deserving of prosperity and happiness.
And speaking of happiness, There's this passage that describes the experience of finding true fulfillment in living a life of purpose. You know, it suggests that when we align our actions with our values,
right,
we experience this deep sense of satisfaction and meaning.
It's about recognizing we're each here to make a unique contribution.
Yeah.
And by following our passions, we can make a positive impact.
On the lives of others.
On the lives of others.
Yeah. And speaking of making a positive impact, there's a passage that encourages us to be the change we want to see in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Suggesting that by embodying these qualities of love, compassion, understanding, we can inspire others to do the same.
It's about recognizing we're all part of this collective consciousness.
Right. And by raising our own vibration, we contribute to the elevation of humanity.
Of humanity as a whole.
As a whole, yeah.
And this brings us to another key point, the importance of living in a state of love and gratitude.
There's this passage that describes the transformative power of love.
Okay.
Suggesting that it's the ultimate healing force in the universe.
Yeah.
It encourages us to cultivate love in all of our relationships, recognizing that it's the key to creating a more peaceful
and harmonious world.
Yeah. And it's not just a feeling, right?
Oh, right.
It's a way of being.
A way of being.
Yeah.
A way of seeing the world.
Interacting with others.
And when we choose to live from that place of love, we open ourselves to experiencing the fullness of life, recognizing the beauty and perfection that's already here.
Yeah, in every moment.
In every moment.
Yeah, it's about remembering that we're all connected. That by spreading love and kindness, we create this ripple effect that transforms the world.
Absolutely. And speaking of transformation, there's a passage that describes this process of spiritual awakening as this journey of self-discovery and growth.
Right.
It encourages us to embrace the challenges and opportunities that come our way.
Right, recognizing that each experience is an opportunity for learning and evolution.
It's like seeing life as this classroom.
Yeah.
Recognizing that every interaction, every challenge, every triumph is a teacher.
It's all a teacher, yeah.
Helping us to grow and evolve.
And this process of growth and evolution ultimately leads us to the realization of our true nature.
Our true nature.
As divine beings.
Yeah.
Interconnected with all of creation.
It's about remembering who we truly are.
Yeah.
Expressions of love, light, infinite potential.
And when we embrace that truth, we experience this profound sense of liberation and joy, knowing that we are already whole and complete.
It's like waking up from a dream. Realizing that we're not separate, but part of this vast and interconnected web of life.
Precisely.
Wow, that's a powerful image.
It is.
So what does this all mean for us? You know, as we navigate the complexities of modern life?
It suggests that we have a choice.
Okay.
We can choose to live from a place of fear, separation, scarcity.
Right.
Or we can choose to live from a place of love, connection, abundance.
Yeah.
And I think all the wisdom that we've uncovered here points us towards the latter.
So it's not just about reading these inspiring words. It's about embodying them in our lives.
In our daily life.
Making choices that reflect our values.
Absolutely.
Cultivating that mindset of gratitude and abundance, extending compassion to ourselves and others.
You got it. And remember that line, you are the stranger at the door.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's this call to radical hospitality, you know, to see the divine in everyone we encounter.
Yeah, even the challenging ones.
Even those who seem different or challenging, And
it reminds us that how we treat that stranger is a reflection of how we treat ourselves.
It really is.
So if we can extend kindness and compassion to those outside our immediate circle, imagine the impact that could have.
Imagine the ripple effect.
Yeah.
On our communities.
On the world.
On the world, exactly.
Okay, this has been an incredibly thought-provoking deep dive.
It has.
We've covered so much ground.
Yeah.
From ancient wisdom to modern-day insights, all pointing towards this profound truth.
Yeah.
That we are expressions of the divine, interconnected with all of creation, capable of creating a more beautiful and harmonious world.
It has been a privilege exploring these ideas with you.
Likewise.
And I want to leave you with one final thought-provoking question.
Yeah, okay.
Something to mull over as you continue on your own journey.
Right.
If you truly believed that God's beauty exists in every form, in every being, in every experience, how would that change your perception of the world and your place in it?
That's a beautiful question.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, and one I think we could all benefit from contemplating.
I think so too.
So, dear listener, take some time to reflect on that, explore these ideas further, apply them to your own life, and see what unfolds.
Yeah, see what magic you can create.
Until next time, keep seeking, keep growing, and keep shining your light.
It's funny, we started this whole deep dive thinking about peace as this like quiet internal thing, but now it feels so much bigger. Like it's about, how we interact with the world, with every stranger we meet.
It's like those ripples you were talking about.
Yeah.
If we cultivate that inner peace, that sense of connection and abundance,
Right.
it radiates outward.
Yeah.
It becomes less about like achieving some personal state,
Right.
and more about contributing to a collective one.
There's a line from the Upanishads you shared. The self is all this, what has been and what will be. It really stuck with me.
It's a powerful one.
It's like this mind-blowing expansion of what self even means.
Yeah.
It's not just our little individual ego,
Right.
but this vast interconnected web of existence.
And if we are all this,
Yeah.
then harming another is harming ourselves, right?
Right.
Generosity becomes self-care.
Yeah.
Compassion becomes a survival strategy, not just for individuals, but for humanity as a whole.
Okay, mind officially blown,
Well, yeah.
but how do we actually live this way?
Right.
It's easy to, get all inspired by these quotes,
Yeah.
but harder to actually put them into practice in our daily lives.
Well, I think back to those practical tools we discussed.
Right.
Affirmations, visualization, actively choosing to see the good.
Yeah.
Practicing gratitude, They might seem simple, maybe even a little cheesy,
Yeah.
but they're ways to train our minds.
Okay.
To shift from that default mode of fear and scarcity to one of abundance and connection. Like reprogramming our internal software.
Yeah. Right.
Replacing the limiting beliefs
Yeah.
with ones that empower us to create something more beautiful.
For ourselves and for the world around us.
Exactly. And remembering that it's a journey.
It's
Not a destination.
right.
There'll be days when you wake up and you're feeling disconnected, judgmental, caught in those old patterns.
Absolutely.
But the key is to notice without judgment
Yeah.
and gently guide yourself back.
To those practices that help you connect.
Right, back to that inner peace.
Yeah.
Speaking of connection, there's one more excerpt I want to touch on.
Okay.
It talks about reaching the inner vision, hearing the wondrous secret through the spirit within. And it goes on to describe this incredible flood of love and all-embracing wisdom.
Wow.
It sounds almost like a mystical experience.
It does, doesn't it? But what's fascinating is how this theme of inner knowing
Right.
appears across so many traditions.
Yeah.
It's not about like blind faith,
Right.
but about cultivating a direct experience of truth, of wisdom, of that interconnected love.
So it's about accessing that inner wellspring.
Yeah.
That spring of knowledge that the excerpt talks about.
Right, and letting it flow outward into the world through our actions.
Our words, our creative expression.
Exactly. And that brings us back full circle to where we started with that line, you are the peace of all things calm.
Yeah.
It's not just a poetic statement.
Yeah.
It's a call to action.
Yeah.
An invitation to become that peace, to embody it.
Embody it, yeah.
To radiate it outward into every corner of our lives.
Wow. This has been incredible.
Hasn't it?
Yeah, we've uncovered so much wisdom. I feel like I have a whole new perspective on what it means to live a fulfilling life.
It's been a joy to explore these ideas with you.
Likewise, and remember, this is just the beginning.
It is,
You know, take these insights, these practices,
Yeah.
and weave them into the tapestry of your own life. See what unfolds.
See what magic you create.
So, dear listener, as you go about your day, remember that you are the peace of all things calm. You are the light that shines in the dark. You are the wellspring of abundance,
The conduit of creativity.
the embodiment of love.
Go out and make this wisdom your own.
Until next time, keep seeking, keep growing, and keep shining your light.